Poducer.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Poducer, the podcast for producers. Today we are joined by Criso.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, dude, it hasn't even been that long, and I feel like shit's been going good for you. I don't know, just exteriorly, it seems like things are good.
Yeah, things have definitely picked up, for sure. Very exciting.
Okay. Oh, also joined here by Kai. You can't see him, but
Yo.
he's on mic. He's our Jamie. We got to think of a better... It can't be Jamie. We can't be like referencing Rogan all the time.
Everyone knows what we're talking about, though, if you say you're the Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Oh, we'll just say Kai. We'll just say Kai.
We'll just say Kai. Kai, pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up, Kai.
So, I don't know. I was thinking about like, I need like an icebreaker question.
Mm-hmm.
And last time I asked you what your first concert was, but since, it hasn't been that long and it's been the summer, I was going to say like, what was your favorite festival of now, like of the summertime?
I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's Infrasound for sure.
So what is special about Infra? And which one? Because there's two.
So I played and went to, like, and this was the first time I was playing or attending it, was the Infrasound Equinox, the one from like a couple months ago, or it was like a month ago.
The later one.
Yeah. The later one that's like, end of summer, fall kind of thing. Because I think the main one is more towards the beginning of the year, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think it's just the emphasis on sound. For one, it's just like they're all about their boutique systems there. Like one stage has functions, another stage has, I think they have, I can't remember, I think it's Danley's or something, but the one that I played on, which is the 360 stage that has Element 5s. And that's my favorite system. I think it's just because it's so loud, it's super crispy, like it's just like in your face, and it's very clear. And I think just because it's 360, it's just the energy is just unmatched, and you can feel it feels more intimate. You can feel the energy of the crowd because they're so close to you. And the fact that we also had MCs too. I love when MCs host and they're on the mic alongside your set. So it's always a fun time. They always bring the energy up. They always make sure everyone's hype. Help fill out kind of the awkward parts, like if you have like a kind of a longer transition where it's just kind of like this long-winded sort of build up or break kind of thing, and people are just kind of sitting there. It's nice to have that MC to be like, yo, make some noise, blah blah blah, how you feeling? It's really good to kind of just keep the crowd engaged in those kind of slower parts. So yeah, just all of that kind of coupled together, good sound, good crowd, MCs, just good people all around, all the artists that were there, just all homies and stuff, and meeting a lot of people that I've been talking to online like forever, meeting them for the first time there. Just all that together is just such an awesome time.
It's got that Mecca vibe of like if you're a bass snob.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
for
you're
sure.
not going to Infra, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I think it's just where it's located too. Being in the Midwest, it's just like I got it. Like I think Midwest, like especially around the Minneapolis, Chicago, Green Bay kind of area. It's just like it's my favorite crowd because they're always like they have just such high energy. They're just always there like for the dubstep. Like it's awesome. So all of that, it's just like makes it great.
Yeah. Speaking of Midwest boys, we already mentioned Quinn, Unknown Prophet, shout out. Mm-hmm. I always see him in those videos, and he's just fucking... And, like, look for a guy with just a big hair.
Yep.
I don't even know what you... It's not like an afro, but it's just, like, out
just
there.
Big
just
hair.
Big hair.
Stank face just the entire time. He's just doing this with his hands. It's he's the best.
That stage is also the one you see the videos from the most.
Well, I think that's at least for the Equinox,
or they record it.
I think that's the only one where they do the recording. I think
that makes sense.
For the main Infrasound, the one that's earlier in the year, the bigger one, I think they do they do recordings at all of them, I'm pretty sure.
You ever have a situation where the MC's like throwing off your groove?
Sometimes it happens. Yeah. And yeah, I mean they'll be a little bit into it, but most of the time like either they catch themselves or the drop just happens and then they're just like, oh shit, yeah, like okay, yeah, let it play. So, but I mean regardless, like when it happens, it's like no one like really notices that much,
Yeah,
It's
it's like
just
when someone messes up a mix, you're just
yeah.
like, hey, it's just play the music. You're
Right.
good.
Yeah. It doesn't really affect like um in terms of like me being like on time or anything like that because I'm looking at the CDJs too, and so if anything, like if if for whatever reason I just can't focus on the music because the MC's being like crazy, I can always just look at the screen and just make sure I'm on time or whatever.
Yeah, because you're a professional.
Yeah.
But I mean, that actually kind of you did a lot of like festivals, concerts over the summer.
hmm
Um, is the tour schedule still looking pretty packed, or is there going to be a little
Yeah, no,
chill?
I mean, I think November we were gonna have 5 shows, but we had to decline one just because of like just the way it worked out with the holidays and stuff with Thanksgiving. So I mean, yeah, 4 shows next month. I think we announced all of them. Um, 2 shows in December, which feels pretty good to me. We're still working on New Year's Eve, so if you know anybody, Corey Pfaff at sub.mission.com, New Year's Eve, book me please. um, yeah, no, so pretty good. Starting a couple of the dates with for the Other Trees tour in December. So that's pretty exciting. I think a couple dates in Montana. And then yeah, in January too. A couple of dates with Other Trees again, January going into February. February got some big ones and yeah, just it's slowly piling up, which is good. It's exciting. It's a lot, but it's exciting.
Okay, I don't think I asked you this last time, but like because you're just like moving real quick, like you started the project 2022.
hmm
It's only been a couple of years. What's like the main thing that's helped you the most? Is it like the tracks you've put out that have then been able to be that thing where the people are like, oh, Criso, I know that song. Like I want to go see him. Is it like the agency you're working with? Like is it all of it? What's the
Yeah,
secret sauce?
I think it's a lot of it put together, and I think it's just yeah, the music has definitely helped. Like, I think the one thing that kind of helped me a lot, like towards the beginning of the year, was the my strikers flip. That was like the big thing that a lot of people were playing out, in the beginning of the year and stuff like that. And then having this EP that just came out, and then this Turnian remix that just came out, and all that stuff. So yeah, the music was definitely a big thing, I think, for this year. And then yeah, being on Submission now has been a big help. Shout out Submission. They've been doing a great job so far. And then also moving with my new manager Anon with Compass. They've all been just a huge help. Just kind of we're all just working together to kind of just make everything work for all the reach outs that we have, and then for the reach outs that we're doing ourselves. So yeah, I think it's just kind of a mix of all that, and I'm hoping to keep the momentum going, especially on the music side. I want to be able to. It's been a big goal of mine, especially for next year's. I want to make sure I have consistent releases and put something out, at least like every other month or something.
Hmm.
So
Like a well-oiled machine.
yeah.
I'm like hearing some noise. I gotta get a new mixer. It's kind of old. You know what
I
people
hear a
like?
tiny bit, but it's not bad.
People like authenticity though. This is a jank setup.
It's raw.
It's raw, dude. Um, Also AI denoise is just crazy now.
Yeah,
Like,
I could always take it out in post.
yeah. I lost my train of thought there, but I was gonna say that something about fuck. I don't know. You know what? One thing we did want to do though while you're here. This
Yeah.
is like a little check-in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is you brought us some tunes.
Yes. Yep.
And I think we should play one. I think
Yeah.
we get into one. Are out of the ones that you sent us, is there anyone that we should go with? Anything you want to say about it before we get it? We don't have to play the whole thing either. It's got to be like a teaser.
Yeah.
I'll do that in post, Kai. Don't worry. You can just listen to it.
Yeah, Kai, pick a random one, and and then we can just roll with it.
Word. All right, we've got the tune with Umbra here.
Okay, dope. Yeah, this is a collab with Umbra. Shout out Umbra. We made this actually a while ago. But yeah, I'm really stoked about it. Hopefully try and get it out soon. Been talking with him about it, so we'll see. It's the classic kind of Criso, sort of just like 140 dubstep kind of sound, mix in with his tasteful style. So yeah.
In the mix. We gotta have our we gotta have our own.
I wish there was a way to reload in Ableton.
Dude, that would be so
Someone
sick.
needs to write the max device for that.
The
Yeah.
reload. Oh,
So the
man.
reload plugin.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's that Criso sound I know and love.
Yeah.
We can fade that one out.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything in the second drop that like we must hear.
No, I mean it's pretty much the same thing, just a little variation of
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that fucking like lurking, like don't. Is there any sauce you can give on that? Is there like anything specific that we're doing there? Is it a certain synth?
I try to keep it as simple as I can.
It does seem like a fairly basic waveform.
Yeah, it's like
Not that it's basic.
no, you're good. I mean, it is. In all honesty, it's. I think that one I probably made in either Serum or Current for minimal audio, which is my favorite synth to use right now. But the basic principle kind of still applies. Where yeah, I mean it's probably like it's like a square wave sort of wavetable with just some sort of on the heavier side like distortion, and then a filter, like a low pass filter, and the cutoff is tied to that LFO that's giving it the boom 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 boom. So and that's what I do a lot. Instead of putting my LFO that actually creates the shape of the sound, instead of putting it on the volume of the actual synth itself, I'll just put it on the filter of like that cutoff filter that I use, and that's kind of how I get sort of like that like more like tight knit sound. Because it always sounds like it's like whoom 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 instead of like a meow meow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more like squared sine wave type of deal, not like a pure sine. We're gonna get real technical here.
Definitely. It's definitely not a. I mean
I already asked Tyler this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The sub is pure sine. I always split the sub, for the producers that want to know how I do that. I usually make the actual bass synth first, and then when I have something that I like, I'll duplicate it, and then basically just so that I have the same like rhythm that I do of like the top bass synth layer, but the duplicate, I'll basically just make it so that A, it's mono, B, it's somewhat in the form of like a sine wave, and then C, just cut basically everything above 100 hertz. So I'm just getting the sub on it. And then for the bass synth, it'll be the opposite, where it's just everything below 100 hertz I cut off, and then I just kind of put them together and find like the sweet spot for like the crossover to make sure that they work together right. And it helps, for when you're trying to get like creative with the two, or like do like variation like in the song, you always have a consistent sub layer that you can just have in the background while you're working on like new variations of like the top bass synth, so that and for producers that make music, they know like when you're trying to like do variations of the sound, sometimes they can get like wonky, or like the sub layer will start to kind of fade out sometimes, or maybe be too much because of depending on like what processing you're doing with it or effects that you're doing with it. So having just a consistent sub layer on that just makes it really easy to just keep the flow going of like variation while also like not having to do like a bunch of different things and constantly having to rework the sub to get it to be the right level and, you know, XYZ.
Yeah, I feel like that's the move. Like where you're you know, you have different frequency bands that you're splitting and like you're doing all your effects in different frequencies. I remember watching some tutorial and being like, this is what all the professional people do. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not always the case, right? I mean, like there will be some circumstances where it benefits me to just keep it all on one like track or like one like synth or whatever. But most of the time, yeah, that's like the practice that I do. It helps a lot.
Yeah. This was what I wanted to ask you before, was that, you know, you're going to a lot of different festivals and shows and meeting up with other artists, and going back to like, what is it that has been helping you? Like, I can't help but think that the networking at those shows has to be big, because if you were going to these shows and everyone's like, Criso's kind of a dick, you know what I mean? Like things wouldn't be looking as bright.
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, it helps to be a nice person. So
Yeah,
if you're not a nice person,
there.
you know, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, networking, you know, is in any industry that you're in. I mean, networking is key, you know, to meet new people, to gain new connections, to have new opportunities that you wouldn't have had before. So yeah, I mean, especially in our industry, it's huge to be able to, you know, talk to people online, you know, talk to them at festivals, you know, share ideas, share thoughts about, you know, whatever it may be, right? Or, you know, talk about music, talk about production, talk about, you know, mixing or whatever, right? You know, just I mean, you gain new friends, you know, you gain acquaintances, friends, business partners, you know, whatever, right? So that's a huge plus side to that, right? So there's that, and then also it's just like, yeah, it's just you're kind of like you're planting your project into the community like more and more when you do that. You
It's
know?
like it's like tea, like you're steeping
yeah.
yourself in it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like permeating outwards. But
Totally.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just like,
And a lot of it is like subconscious, right? Like you're not like, you know, there will be some times where you're like actively, you know, going out to be like, okay, like I want to do some networking tonight. Like, oh, there's just one person I really want to meet. I think that would be great connection to have, or a great person to talk to about, you know, certain topic or whatever it may be. And other times it's just I'm at a festival and I'm just talking to people and having fun, and you're just naturally
there's a finesse, you know, you're right. There might be like a subconscious aspect, and then other times you are thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm always the type of guy where like I was talking to someone last night about like a sponsorship thing, but it took me so long to like get to the point that I wanted to make. And most of the time I just won't even try to talk business while I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's just like, especially when you're in a show setting or a festival setting, at the end of the day, you're there to have fun, right? And it's like,
yeah,
sometimes that just takes over, you know, the business side of it, and it's not a bad thing. You know, it's always fun to have fun. So, and you're meant to have fun at those places. And, you know, if an opportunity comes out of it that worked for you, sort of like on a business level, then that's great. But if it doesn't, then it's like there's always another time. You know, especially in the community and type of music that we're in, it's so like tight knit. And it's like very like small world, you know, as much as it's the entire world. It's like, you know, it's just like, it's wild, like how often you can meet the same person without even like intentionally doing it.
I know. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Even though it feels like there's a new producer, a new guy on the scene every day.
Yeah.
But still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to also ask you about the, you know, Joe Nice. Last time you said that he was kind of mentoring you. Has anything else come about of that?
Yeah, I mean, and I say that like for lack of a better term, right? Like he's not like actively mentoring me, like because like we're
You're not getting that one-on-one call every week or something like.
no, I mean because I mean, at the end of the day we're just good friends, right? But
Yeah,
and kind of like with what we
just
talked about, like subconsciously, I'm learning things from him that like, because he's been in this for like 20-25 years now, right? Or yeah, like 20 years. There's just so much knowledge and experience that he has that is just like so it's just awesome to hear. The stories that he has is just awesome, right? I mean, he can go on for hours, right? And that's what I love about Joe. He can literally tell you stories for hours, and they're amazing stories, from like when he first started back in London in the 2000s, and doing those original first dubstep shows at a church, and it was so packed that they had to move everything upstairs because a line was like wrapped around the block, like all those little things. It's just like such awesome stuff to hear. But yeah, I mean, it certainly helps that he's, we're only like 30 minutes from each other out in North Carolina. So, we hang out from time to time, and yeah, and sometimes I help him out too, especially with the producing stuff, when we work on our collabs and stuff, the insight that I give to him is helpful in that sense. So it's
new kid on the block.
Yeah, yeah.
The old cat.
Yeah,
old
yeah.
cat's not the proper term, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, a legend, for real.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I feel like you might be more tapped into like the fucking Zoomer, the Zoom squad. No, I don't know. I mean, you might watch more TikTok. I don't know.
No, I've never downloaded TikTok, and I will never download
for the better.
it. Yeah,
probably for the better. Let's run another one, and then we said that we wouldn't keep this too long. I have a fun thing we can do after that.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Which one are we pulling up?
Check it out.
Okay,
check it out.
This one's coming out in January, February-ish. Forthcoming due block again. Be digital and it'll be vinyl. Another vinyl I'm very excited about. So yeah, this one's a wobbly one for the wobbly Criso music fans.
For the wobblers.
The wobblers.
Big up Wobble Gang.
Check it out.
Yeah. It's simple, but it's good, dude. I like that.
Thank you.
Check it out.
This one's one of my favorites. So like that I've made in a little bit.
I like those chords. I feel like that's something I don't hear all the time.
A little classic like house,
little
kind of house rave stab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Those really like micro wobbles. Like,
yeah.
Those are cool.
Those are my favorite when it's just really, really fast. Yeah. Yeah, that one I made this year, and it was kind of just sitting for a minute, and then once, we figured out where we wanted it to go and got that set up, and I started playing it out, and I was like, and I thought people like, I thought it was just going to kind of be like an average one, or like one that like, people were, like, I mean, obviously I hope that people like it, but when I played it out, I think one of the first times I played it out was at Soundhaven, actually. And when I played that out, and it was just like, everyone was like, oh my God. Like, I was really surprised by the reaction, and I was like, wow, people really like this one. And I started playing it out more, and it was like almost every time it was just like what the fuck, like
a spin back. Like that's when the MC's like, yo,
yeah, for sure,
like,
for sure. Yeah, that was a reload at Infrasound. It was a reload at Soundhaven.
How many different words are there for it? Like reload, spin back. Kai, got any other ones?
Yeah,
wheel up,
spin. Oh yeah, wheelie. Yeah, my girlfriend says wheelie.
Wheelie.
And then if it's two wheels, it's a bicycle.
Oh. Sometimes
if
I
you-
see
if
people
you-
spinning
if you
like
wheel it
3
back.
decks. I'm like, how many? What was going on?
No,
there?
like if you if you wheel it once and then you play it again and it's just so freaking
Oh.
hype, and then they're just like, you know what, just fucking do it again. It's called actually Joe Nice made up that he invented that term, a bicycle.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like at a certain point, if you do it enough, it starts getting hype again because you're just like, at one point you're like, all right, how many times is he going to do this? And then you start getting excited because it's like, how many times is he going to do this?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. There was 2 tracks in my Infrasound set that I wheeled twice, and it was the first time in a set that I wheeled back a track twice, and the fact that I did it for 2 songs was just like fucking crazy. I was like, they really like want it again. I was like, holy shit. I was like, all right, because everyone was like, yeah, do it again, and like Joe's on the mic, like, they want it again, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, holy shit. It was just that's the energy that, like, that's the reason why we do reloads, right? It's like because the crowd wants it, right? It's like, or they're throwing money, or they're going 5 5 5, like
a reload specific thing. Like, when did money just start getting thrown on stage?
So actually, and I learned this from Jamakabi, who's like a OG MC and like rapper. He told me that back when, in like the early like dub days, like in Jamaica, that was a thing that they would do.
I love when we start getting into the Jamaica lore.
Yeah.
That's when you know we're hitting the spot.
If you wanted a reload on a track in Jamaica back then, you would have to throw money at the DJ. So that's kind of where it all like came from.
Because otherwise they weren't just giving them out.
Yeah, I think that was like the way that you would do it, right? Like
Because
you could say like reload. I think some people just did it, but I think that was like the thing back then, and that's where it all like kind of stemmed from. With like, and like nowadays, most people don't really see it the way. They just see it like, like tipping your DJ, like throw money because it's like, like, cause it's fun and stuff like that, and it's like, showing like respect to the DJ. But on a more level from like way back when, if people threw money, that's like an indication of like they want the reload.
That actually makes a lot of sense because back then it was like, I think we talked about this on the Chef Boyer Beats, and shout out Suki, and Chef. I think that we were talking about like acetate and how it doesn't last as long. So you reload that track, it's like, that's degraded my record.
Yeah,
like that's gonna cost you.
Oh yeah, here's the money.
Here's $1 for the record back. I mean, now it doesn't.
That's a good point. I mean, that's funny. That's interesting that you mentioned that. Yeah,
maybe there's something there. Who knows?
Who knows?
I'm not Jamaican.
Yeah.
I need to just interview a Jamaican guy. Doesn't even matter who he is. Just,
you gotta interview.
Gotta have that accent.
Interview somebody from way back when.
I know that would be legendary.
One of the OGs, right? And I'm sure they have. I mean, even like Joe. I mean, he started a little bit later than the other guys, but yeah, I mean, he's got the history. Or I mean, like Mala or Scream or Plastician or whoever.
That'd be One day hopefully we get there. I just have seen this weird. It's not weird, I guess, but it's like, I think we're obsessed with like some mundane shit. And I've seen this trend in podcasting where it's like, I interviewed my doctor, or like I interviewed the garbage guy.
Theo.
Yeah,
Theo
like
Von
Theo
does that all the time. Yeah.
I see Tosh doing it now too. He's like,
okay.
here's my whatever.
Yeah.
So my thing would just be like, here's a Jamaican guy.
We were in
Don't even know.
Me and my girlfriend were in the car, and there was one Theo Von podcast that it was like, it was a school lunch lady.
Dude, that one's funny.
She has the craziest laugh. Like we couldn't finish listening to it because she was like, oh.
At one point he goes,
yeah.
He goes like, you sound like the lunch lady from Billy Madison, and they like play the clip, and it's like kind of spot on.
It's crazy.
I love Theo.
Yeah, but I totally know what you mean by that. Just like, it's like, let's just interview everyday people.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a cool concept.
It could work. You could get someone like it's like the same thing as like street interviewing is really popular because like you never know if you're just gonna get that crazy guy.
Yeah.
That's gonna make a crazy viral clip. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent. I said that we were gonna do something fun when we got back after the break of the song.
Uh-huh.
I got these books.
Okay.
My girlfriend bought this. Dude, I bought all of these used on Amazon. Also, just quick thing, Amazon, if you want to buy a book, just buy it used on Amazon. It's like $3.
Nice.
Just saying. Anyway, these are question books.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm gonna try them out, but this one seems to be the best. It gets the most love.
Okay.
Okay. So, give me a number between 1 and 3,000.
Oh man. Oh, this is
a lot of
This
numbers.
is cool. Okay.
I feel like there's a psychology to like what numbers people choose to. So don't fuck with it.
1296.
Oh, whoa. I don't know how to read that one.
1296.
No. I meant like as in like what that means.
Oh.
Because some people will be like 1,111.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
like
like,
1111. Yeah.
You said 1296.
That was just like the first number that popped in my head.
Oh, okay. Some of these questions get deep.
Uh-oh.
Like sometimes you hit one that you're just
Did I pick a deep question?
It could be.
Okay.
What is a growing concern of yours?
Ooh.
Like that could be like you
I'm
got
gonna-
like a skin rash.
I'm gonna keep it within music.
Yeah.
Okay. What is? Wait.
A growing concern.
A growing concern. People not understanding the history of the music that they listen to. I think that's something that is.
This is something we talk about a lot. Yeah.
I don't want to say dying out, but it's something that like there's more and more people. These younger kids that are getting into it, they are just going into it. And it's not like I'm saying like you have to understand history. Like I'm not like one of
to
those
even
like,
get into it. Like
yeah. Like
gatekeeping.
I take pride in knowing a good amount of history around dubstep, but I'm not gonna like shove it down people's throats. Like I'm not gonna be like a dubstep snob and be like, no, like this is how you have to do it, or like whatever you have to say this term. Like I'm not gonna be like that guy. But it's also, I think it's more just about respecting the music that you're listening to, right? And if you have like one viewpoint about it, or have like an opinion about it that like, one day you realize, oh, well, it actually kind of came about like this, or like here's how like this came about, or whatever. Like just like taking a little bit of time to kind of just learn about where it came from and learning about how it evolved too. That's huge. Like learning about how music has evolved throughout the decades is super important, right? Because it tells you it shows you where we got to where we are now, right? And where it could possibly lead to, it's like learning world history, right? It's like we learn world history so that like we're not just making the same mistakes that we did, like,
but we still do.
In a perfect world, we want to know about our world history because we want to make sure we don't make the same mistakes that we did like 60, 70 years ago or whatever, or even like 20 years ago, right? And in any fashion, right? Even in like business, right? You want to learn about the business that you're in because like in the history of it, because somebody could have done something like 20 years ago that you just thought of in your head, but it's and it just doesn't work for whatever industry that you're in. So kind of to talk about in the music sense, it's like learning about the history of the music helps you kind of understand where it's like how it got to where it is now, and and if you're a big fan of the music, or if you make music, what you could possibly do to help evolve it, or putting your own sound onto it while still paying respects to the genre or the sound or XYZ.
Yeah, it's just made me think you got to fill out like a Scantron to like, oh, you chose dubstep as your genre on SoundCloud? Well, you got to take a test.
Yeah.
People probably don't even know what a Scantron is.
Yeah, true.
Luckily, I mean, it's fun. You get to fill in a bubble with a pencil. You know what a
Little
pencil is?
bubbles, yeah. And if you're like a little bit outside the line, you know, you get yelled at.
They yell at you for not filling in the bubble correctly because they're like, we're gonna have to rescan this, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, they show you it's got to be exactly like this. It can't be underfilled, overfilled.
They give you
Don't
examples.
do X's. Yeah.
No
Particular
X's.
type of pencil you have to use as well.
Yeah, number 2.
Yes,
Yeah.
number 2 pencil.
What is it? Starts with a T. The name.
Oh, dude.
Oh, hey, all right.
Yeah.
It's like a Ticonderoga or whatever.
Oh, the
Dude.
Dixon Ticonderoga.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Dude.
Yes. Yeah, we got it. That pencil.
Those ones had good
Those were
erasers.
nice.
They did have good
Yeah.
erasers. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, is that the black one?
That's like the premium.
No,
one.
it was like the yellow.
The black one's the premium
The
one?
black one is the Dixon Ticonderoga.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
those were good.
Wow, that's like pulling out memories.
I
From,
know. I didn't even think about it. But no, I saw this thing. I was thinking about it because I saw this meme that someone was like, yeah, it's this really random video, or it's like this show that was this woman where she would like take her legs and like move them around and like teach little kids how like a clock works. And it was like a meme about that. And they're like, yeah, laughing at this because, you know, like new like Zoomers and shit, they don't even know how to read a clock. And I was like,
Yeah.
LOL. And
Yeah.
then I looked it up and I was like, wait, do people actually not know how to read
Yeah, no, some people
analog
don't.
clocks? And like on Reddit, people were like, I mean, I mostly know how to read. I was like, wait, what? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to read a sundial. But
No, I
like,
don't either. I don't think I don't even know what a sundial looks like.
I think this all
being
goes
honest.
back to this thing where it's like you're talking about music, like the growing concern that like people aren't going to know where this comes from. It is like that thing where I think about like AI, where it's like people are just going to generate stuff and it's like cool, but no one knows everything that it was built on. It's
Yeah.
like using a computer at a certain point. Like no one even knows how it works. Like people know how it works.
Yeah.
Kai's a fucking professional. He's just a professional human being.
Computer boy.
Yeah. But I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is like we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and at a certain point you get like cut off from all that lineage.
Yeah.
And then what happens if we lose that history? Like
Yeah.
that to me is the concern, that we're gonna lose the history
Yeah.
because it's not told.
Yeah,
feel like
making
that's the
sure that
thing.
that history and experience of things continues to be taught to people or shown to people, so that exactly like you
So
said.
people can remember Scantron, you know?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
doesn't want to get lost.
that's a huge one.
It's
Remember this
important.
hashtag. Remember the Scantron.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it does concern me. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, more so like reeling it back into music, and this is kind of more specifically this happened, or not happened, but I posted about it the other day, like a day or two ago. I have a lot of comments on it, and look, I respect everyone's opinion, and I said it in the post too. Like, I value your opinion, I appreciate it. This is my standpoint on it, right? I have a lot of comments on my SoundCloud for my Infrasound set of people hating on the MCs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, and I don't want to like, you know, say it like verbatim or whatever, but it's just a lot of people, you know, like hating on it, and there's a big difference between like constructive feedback and then people just blatantly hating on
No,
it,
people on the
right?
internet are savages.
Yeah, and there's a good bit of comments that are just like, you know, like, man, this set would be greater if that guy would just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And it's just like, so I posted about it and I was like, you know, on that note, it's like, for one, I put it on SoundCloud as a courtesy for people who aren't able to watch it on YouTube, or for people who weren't there, right? Because watching it on YouTube is an entirely different experience. Like, seeing the energy is an entire, because you can go on my YouTube and every single comment is positive. There's not one person who complained about the MCs on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just sort of a concrete example right there of just like, when you see it and you see like everyone like there, it's just like, it's a whole different experience than just listening to it. And like, could I have done like, you know, could I have made the MCs lower in volume or something like that? Or could I have maybe just cut them out and like, yeah, I could have, but do I want to? No, because Yeah, he's pulling up right there. Yeah, it's just like that's my way of respecting the culture, because it goes back down to the history of where this came from. Back in the day, it was MCs and with grime music, and dubstep, and in the 2000s, it was MCs, over the mic the entire night. And it was awesome. And and I'll admit, like, when I first got into like making electronic music and bass music, I didn't like the concept of MCs, but I still respected it. Like, I respected the fact that there's a history behind it, and this is where is all of the music of dubstep that we listen to stems from. And I slowly kind of grew into it, right? And I slowly was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then, like, once I went to a show where there actually was an MC that was like when I went to a show live and there was an MC playing, and it was actually, I think the first one was when Turnian did their open to close set, the first one last year in December at Black Box in Denver, and Pavan was emceeing that, and it was just like the energy was just insane. And I remember that night I was like, this is really fucking
MCs
sick.
are cool.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. I was like, I get it now. Like hearing it like on SoundCloud, like I can get it for the people that didn't.
Feels like
it.
the medium of the way you were listening and not watching it was the problem more. So.
For sure. Yeah. So for people listening who haven't seen the YouTube video, I highly encourage you check it out, because it's just a whole different experience seeing it. And if you have the time and the financial stability and the energy, try and go to Infrasound next year, because it's just it's always such a awesome fucking time. And I hope and wish that there is some more festivals that start bringing in some MCs on the bill to host some of these stages, because it's really cool. It's fun.
For what it's worth, the last comment was positive. It said that made them realize how good a MC is and how much it adds to the vibe. So maybe people are coming around.
Yeah. Oh, on SoundCloud?
Yeah, call them out.
6 hours ago, someone said
okay.
that made them realize how important a good MC is.
Huh.
And I feel like we got to say, like, MCs, they're not all created equally. Like, there's got to be bad MCs that you're like, actually, like, dude, you're kind of fucking up the timing, dude. You're like,
yeah, I mean, there is an art to MCing. Like, there really is, and being able to, because there's some MCs out there that don't rap. Like, they're not like on songs and stuff. Mm-hmm. They just do the MCing. But then there's also the MCs that are like rappers, right? Like Pavan or like Rack J or whoever, right? But then there's people like the homie Necromancer. He MCs at Infrasound, but I mean, at least to my knowledge, he doesn't rap, or he doesn't do like any like tracks like that. But all of them, yeah, it's an art.
He's
to
probably
it, right?
dabbled.
Yeah, he might have dabbled.
He's got like
he might have dabbled.
He might have anyway.
But yeah, so it's just like, yeah, it's an art, right? Because you want to be able to fill those gaps, right, where the DJ needs it, right? You want to be able to have your parts where you can shine, like as an MC, where you can shine a little bit, like on a drop and stuff, if you want to put a couple bars in or whatever. And then you also want to like keep the energy up too, and like all of that combined in a way that like keeps it like not overdone or not underdone. Like it's surprisingly tough to be able to be able to do that.
Yeah, I see. Like, keep it engaging, but not like where people start rolling their eyes. Like, okay, we get it.
Yeah,
like,
and yeah. I mean, sometimes like some MCs can be like, a little bit, like a little bit like, I guess, extra, like if they had too much drink or whatever. But most of the time,
that sounds like the easiest thing to fuck up. Like,
for sure,
I got a little too drunk.
Yeah, but at the
I'll
end
think about myself at the end of the night and be like, what was I even saying? But then you give me a mic,
and I'm
over. Cringing. I don't come out for like a week.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, even sometimes like when they overdo it, it's still fun. Because at the end of the day, most people in the crowd, like, they just laugh it off, and it's just like, oh man, like, so and so is going crazy on the mic right now, but it's like, it's still fun, like, it's still have fun energy. Do
you remember the first time you DJ'd and had an MC? Was it at Infra?
Technically, yes. Technically, I guess Infra would be the first one. if I remember correctly. Huh? Yeah, this most recent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, because I did. Well, yeah, because that was a Renegade, but yeah, still technically it was a set. Yeah, when I did a back to back with Torcha at Soundhaven this year.
Because Torcha, from what I recollect, at Soundhaven, he had an MC.
Yeah, he had Rack J.
Yeah.
Like Rack J came out to do the set with him, which it was really awesome. But yeah, we did like a little Renegade, and Rack J was already there, so we were like, hey, do you want to MC this like Renegade too? And he was like, yeah. So he came out, and that was cool. And Rack J is a really, really good example of a great MC. He puts his bars in, they always sound good, but he also gives you that space to be able to like play it out, and him not being like overbearingly like talking the whole time, but he also keeps the energy up, say like make some noise for your DJs and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, he's a great MC. But yeah, I think that was it. I mean, besides like maybe like a couple like little smaller shows from like a few years ago, like where like a friend or something will just hop on for like a few minutes and just like say a couple things or like say a few bars or whatever and then like hop off. But yeah, that was like first official MC. Yeah, was this year. Proper.
Yeah. Word. Well, cool, man. I mean, it seems like the future's bright. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting corny. I'm gonna stop. But no, seriously, I feel like shit's going good.
The future's bright.
Do we play the last track? Do we check it out?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Damn, it would have been perfect if that was the last one because it wasn't check it out.
Yeah,
fuck.
Check it out.
It's cool. Next time.
next time.
Yeah, we got Make Some Noise here.
Make some noise. I like this one too. This is no plans for this one yet. Maybe next year.
Oh, it's coming in.
Yeah, this is
Yeah. I think me and Guy both just were like, yeah.
Okay.
This one, it's got that call and response thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one that when I normally make music, I don't have like an expectation when I go and sit down in the studio, but this one I had the idea in my head, and normally it doesn't work, but I was able to get it out, and I was like, oh my god, it was just
like, were you like humming it, kind of like you were like, I can hear?
Yeah, I think I was like driving home one day, and I was like, I got this idea in my head with this stab thing, and I was like, oh yeah. So it ended up working out.
Banger alert.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Word. Well, let's, we said we were going to do quick and dirty. I feel like that was nice and concise.
Yeah, it's good.
Actually, real quick, anyone to look out for beside yourself right now? Like people you've come across, people who are homies, whatever. Shout outs.
Shout out Combine, because Combine, he just put out his EP on Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. And I'm so mad because he put out all the tracks on EP are dubs I've been playing out for a minute, and I'm so mad they're not dubs anymore, but I'm also really fucking stoked for him. So check out that EP, because yeah, he is on the up and up. Yeah, he deserves all the recognition that he can get and should be getting. Yeah, Combine. Yeah, I mean, Umbra is really good. I mean, we showed the collab earlier. I mean, his drum and bass is just so good. It's stellar. I know he's got a few tracks out on some pretty solid labels, but he's still underrated. Yeah, I mean,
those are shout outs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blanking out on others. Whenever
you filled
I'm
the
asked.
Scantron.
Yeah. Yeah. All C's.
Yeah.
All the C's. That was the strat back.
Was there a multiple choice Scantron question? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm getting nods. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Well,
Yo, tell us what's next. New tunes, more
thank you,
shows?
Kai.
Oh, there.
Thank you, Kai. Yeah, what's happening next?
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. No, I was kidding. We just announced my first Mission Ballroom show.
Oh, congrats.
It's me back to back Youngsta, who is a fucking legend. If you don't know him, look him up. That is in support for Ravenscoon at February 22nd, I believe. Yeah, February 22nd. So we're really, really stoked for that. Couple new tune coming out later this year, I think in December. So keep an eye out for that. I might try to squeeze in a little self-release in November. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, just lots of shows starting this Other Trees tour soon. So hopefully I'll see you at one of the cities. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
You heard it here first. Well, actually, no, I saw that you were playing with Youngsta. I just thought about it. I was like, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
But you heard it here.
You heard it.
Yo, guys, thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, we appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.